Good morning, everyone. Y'all know how I step off the precipice. Valor de hers, all men must serve. Valamagules, all men must die. Now, hello to everyone. It's your man, Mr. Mungo Bay, reporting. Back to another Made by Mastery discussion. So we're going to step right into the thesis this afternoon. To become a steward of time is to recognize that life is experienced through a finite resource whose remaining measure is unknown to us. Imagine receiving a clock at birth containing the measure of your life, but unable to see the remaining number, but knowing that once a moment disappears, it can never be restored. Now, we already possess that clock. We simply just can't see the numbers. We just can't see the numbers. Now, stewardship, therefore, requires of us to responsibly allocate this time available to us according to what we value, right? Now, what we are responsible for and where we intend to go during this time. Okay, so I titled this first lesson, Mastery of Distribution. We often speak about managing time, but time itself continues whether we manage ourselves well or poorly. What actually requires management is how we distribute ourselves within the time available to us. Now, every meaningful pursuit carries a temporal cost because education, relationships, health, business, mastery, and let's not forget one of the very most important aspects of our life, personal development, all requires portions of our time, our lives, our finite lives. Now, an hour allocated to one activity cannot simultaneously be allocated somewhere else, which means that every use of our time is also an exchange. Being a good steward, therefore, requires more than staying busy. It requires determining whether what receives our time is worthy of something we can never recover again, which is our time, right? Now, stewardship does not require turning every available minute into work, money, or measurable production. You got to be a robot you living like that. Man needs rest. We need recreation. We need reflection. We need relationships. And simply experiencing life can all represent responsible allocations when they are chosen deliberately, purposefully. Now, what matters is understanding that distribution compounds because small investments of time repeatedly, consistently, can become knowledge, mastery. I know how much I love mastery, man. Strong relationships, completed goals, or an entirely different life, period, if you allocate your time properly. Now, the opposite is equally true because small periods of distraction and postponement can also quietly accumulate into months and years of you getting nothing done. Now, if you intend to reach a particular destination in your life, the way you repeatedly distribute your time must eventually correspond with where you intend to go. You with me? So, I hope I made distribution of time clear. I hope you can see why it's important to delegate your time wisely, right? Now, you got to push on along, right? Now, I call this second lesson, decisions govern more than the moment. I'm going to explain to y'all why I say this. Now, stewardship also requires recognizing that decisions, and I just did a video on the architecture of decision. Now, back to what I was saying. Recognizing that decisions can carry consequences far beyond the moment in which they are made. Certain harmful choices, whether involving dangerous substances, reckless behaviors, or unnecessary risk, can potentially shorten that time. It can shorten a life through a decision that require only moments to make. Excuse me. Now, other decisions that we make may not shorten our lives at all, but yet they can consume years through destructive habits, unnecessary conflicts. Y'all know the major P word, procrastination, or environments that continually pull us away from our purpose. This is why the video I done on the architecture of decision belongs inside a discussion about time. Because you see, it all aligns, right? Now, our decisions determine more than what we do today. They influence what becomes possible tomorrow. A steward, therefore, considers not only the immediate reward of a decision, but also what that decision may eventually cost in time. Don't make me pull out the ledger, y'all. Y'all ain't even know I played around with that bookkeeping, right? Don't make me pull out the ledger, because we be here all day. But nah, all jokes aside, right? Now, these decisions, right, are often influenced by our beliefs, which connects stewardship with, you guessed it, the prison of borrowed beliefs. I just did a video about this also not too long ago. You'll start to see that it all aligns. It all fits right neatly in a nice little puzzle, right? Now, a person can inherit assumptions about who they are, what they are capable of, or what kind of life they are expected to live. Then unknowingly distribute years according to beliefs they never consciously chose. Come on, man. Somebody say amen with me one time. I know I ain't preaching, but man, you can't, hey, listen, man, you can't play with this. Now, examining what you believe, right, is therefore part of protecting what you do with your time. Because belief influences your decisions. Your decisions influences your behavior. And your behavior influences direction. To become a steward of time is to recognize that your clock is too valuable, entirely too valuable to be governed by beliefs or decisions you have never examined for yourself. Now, I know we don't have a lot of time, but let us move forward. Now, let us add an affirmation to further inspire. I respect the infinite, excuse me, I respect the finite nature of my time. I distribute it intentionally, protect it through disciplined decisions, and invest it according to the life I intend to build. I cannot recover what has passed, but I can govern what remains. I can't govern what remains. Final thoughts, y'all. None of us can see the number remaining on our clocks, but we know with certainty that the clock continues to move. Time should not therefore be treated not as an unlimited possession, but as a finite resource requiring conscious distribution and responsible decision making. You cannot recover yesterday. You can't get it back. None of it. You can't get none of it back. Right? But you can decide whether today will be invested in growth, responsibility, relationships, restoration, even purpose, or something that you feel deserves no further portion of your life. Your beliefs influence your decisions. Your decisions influence your direction. And your repeated distribution of time gradually constructs the life you experience. You cannot govern how long the clock will run, but you can become a better steward of every moment it gives to you. Thank you for joining another Made by Mastery discussion. This is your man, Mr. Mungo Bay. Peace.